Hey drivers and dreamers, I just wanted to take a minute to say hi and tell you how much I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel and taking the time to watch my painfully boring and sometimes extremely long videos, but I do appreciate it, I really do. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know the next time I put up one of those painfully long and boring videos. Anyway, but I wanted to share with you guys, one of the problems of having so many hours a day that you're just driving is that little hamster in the wheels going squeak, 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 and you're just thinking and dreaming all day long about all kinds of things. And I always just felt like I was born in the wrong era. I always felt like I should have been born somewhere back around 1850, maybe even earlier. Just always been a little bit of a cowboy at heart. And I've actually written a couple of books. Y'all go check them out. Amazon and Kindle, The White Mountain Bigfoot. I know it sounds kind of crazy for a Western, but it actually is. And there's a volume 1 and a volume 2 now. Never actually thought I would be an author, but I think they turned out pretty good. The reviews seem to agree with me that they turned out good. So y'all go check it out when you get a chance. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you a little bit how being a truck driver is very similar to being an old Western cowboy. You know, they used to be able to travel around, across the country, wherever they wanted to go. They'd stop at the saloons, which back then were not so much just a place to go and get drunk, but it was a clearinghouse for information. It was a place where you could find out the latest trail conditions, the latest gossip of what's going on in the country around. Well, now when you pull into the truck stops and the travel centers, it's kind of the same thing. You can stop and talk to other drivers, find somebody that's coming the opposite direction that you were going, find out about road conditions, especially if it's wintertime. You get to travel, see the country. I'm not one of those guys that's stuck behind a desk pushing a pencil all day. Now, if you like it, that's fine. I'm not at all knocking that. But, man, I just love it. Look at all those big trucks over there. Probably not close enough for you to hear those big diesels purring, but it gets in your blood. And I gotta tell you, this is actually one of the easiest jobs I have ever done in my life. And it's kind of boring to a degree, really, because it's not very challenging, but I still enjoy it. And I've been blessed to do so many things in my life. I've been a carpenter, a contractor, remodeling, all phases of remodeling for residential, a little bit of commercial, built houses from the foundation to the ridge cap, took care of every aspect of the build. Heavy equipment operator, bulldozers, track hoes, bobcats, dozers, just dump trucks. Spent 20 years as a paramedic. I was really privileged to be able to work with some really great guys, both in emergency medical services and in law enforcement, where I was attached to the SWAT team as a tactical medic. Got to go through all the same training that those guys did: basic SWAT, advanced SWAT, basic advanced weapons, active shooter, room clearing, just a bunch of really, really great classes, great guys to work with. Know what it's like to have lead coming our way, stand beside the guys. It was an amazing experience. 7 years in the volunteer fire department. Just had the opportunity to do a lot of things in my life. And I'm currently really enjoying what I'm doing out here. Hauling cars nationwide. Seeing new faces, new places. And it's just great. I get to choose the direction that I want to go most of the time, as long as the loads are available. Get to see all kinds of amazing places in this beautiful country. And I just love it. And I get a lot of people calling me and asking me questions about getting into the business. Guys, I'm going to tell you, as long as you are physically, medically able, you don't have to be a young man to get into this business. This is something that if you're burnt out where you were, where you are now, you can reinvent yourself. Get into truck driving. Get your CDL. Truck driving gives you the opportunity to reinvent yourself. If you find yourself in a position that's not financially viable, truck driving can be the key to turn that around. There is a major shortage in the trucking industry. Not just car hauling, but any kind of driver, CDL driver. Even local work, which can be a little more difficult to find because that's what a lot of people want. They want to be home at night with their families. But if you're in a position in your life where you don't have to be home, this is a great opportunity, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're 21 or 61, doesn't matter. Look at those trucks. Look at that, guys, all lined up there, just purring like a bunch of sleeping kittens. Ah, I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm out here getting my evening stroll, stretching my legs. Just finished a 10-hour and 59-minute driving shift out of the 11 hours that I'm allowed. And getting ready to go crawl in the bunk. Paperwork princess is already in her bed. Probably in there snoring louder than the dog, but yeah, well, you know, that's all right. She worked hard dispatching today and has put together some fantastic loads. We actually just came down out of Las Vegas on I-15. We're in California at a rest stop. We are on our way farther down into California tomorrow to start our unload and reload, heading on over into Arizona. It's just great being able to travel around and see the country. I don't feel tied down. I don't feel boxed in. I don't feel like yeah, I drive every day, but it's not the same thing every day because I'm constantly seeing new country, different people, different loads. I never know what the next load's going to be or where it's going to go. And I absolutely love that. If you're one of those people that likes the security of knowing what you're doing every single day, you can get those kind of loads out here as well, where you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on the same route every day. There's plenty of those out here. But if you're a cowboy at heart like I am, and you just want to get out and roam and see the country, guys, this is it. You can travel all of the lower 48 states, and if you can get a visa, you can do Canada, all the way up into Alaska, down into Mexico. Reinvent yourself. This is the perfect opportunity. It's not hard to get into trucking, guys. It's not. The classes aren't hard. I didn't even go to school for it. I just went down to the local DMV and picked up one of those paperback books. Of course, this was back before they had everything in PDF downloadable files online. But I just read through the CDL driving manual a couple of times, and I went and challenged the test, passed it, got my permit, scheduled a driving test, and I had it. So if a dull old butter knife like me can do it, it can't be that hard, right? Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share with you while I'm out here strolling what an easy job driving is. It's just so easy. Like I said earlier, it's one of the easiest jobs I've ever done in my life. And I guess a lot of it has to do with how you choose to look at things. You know, I've seen guys that don't have any business in this business. Something happens with a broker with missing information. Now, whether it be because the customer didn't provide it to the broker or the broker didn't do their job, and the first thing that driver wants to do is go to cussing and bleep, 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 carrying on about that bleep, bleep broker, and just, don't be so childish. Come on. It's just life. Just duck and weave and bob and just, Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. I like that line. No worries, guys. No worries. Just roll with it. Roll with life. No reason to get stressed out when a load falls through. Another one will pop up. At least in the car hauling industry anyway, there's really no shortage for good loads. Or at least loads. They're not always as good as we'd like. But when you have a good dispatcher that's passionate about their job like I do, most loads are going to be decent. It doesn't mean that something won't come up where a vehicle or two may fall apart and the overall load doesn't look that great. Had that happen a couple weeks ago. We had a good paying load coming out of Denver going down to Dallas. And 2 of the 6 fell apart at the last minute. Paperwork princess got on the board and looked and found 1 replacement. And that kind of ruined that one short trip as far as the dollar per mile, and it pushed us out into the weekend where we couldn't make deliveries, so it took a lot longer to make that entire trip than it should have. But that stuff happens, it really does. Don't melt down over it. Just chillax. New term. I don't know if it's a word, but chill and relax. Life is only as hard as you make it. It doesn't mean you have control over what comes your way. It means you have control over how you react to it. And if you react with anger and frustration all the time whenever something falls apart, guys, you're going to be miserable. I don't care what line of work you're in. You're going to be miserable. But there's my truck down there, that white one. That little bitty cracker box with a chihuahua under the hood. Little old D13 trying to bark like a big dog. But hey, it gets me down the road. Guys, I just wanted to share with you though, I'm not that guy that's always stressed out. I'm not stuck in a cubicle. I'm not stuck at the same boring job every day, day in and day out. I just got to drive down through some of the most beautiful Red Rock Mountains today, coming down through St. George, Utah, all up in that area. Just gorgeous country. Love it. Got off on a back road because there was a real slowdown in traffic. Got to see some beautiful country on an Indian reservation. Paiute, if I'm pronouncing it right. Guys, it's just the thing about this life is it's so abnormal. It's so not the usual, the normal TV life. The 8 to 5, come home to a dinner and TV and sit around with the family, which I love doing. Don't get me wrong on that. But I'm not on a schedule like that. And everything about this life out here is so abnormal compared to an 8 to 5er. And I'm not knocking anybody working 8 to 5. I've done it. But it's just not me. I like this out here. I like being in charge of my own destiny, so to speak, as far as you can be in this world. It's just great, guys. It's great. And it's become normal to me. I'm walking around like a drunk man out here. People are starting to look at me like I'm crazy talking to my phone, but hey, it's all right. I don't have to see them again. I'll be gone in a few hours. I can act crazy if I want to. And tomorrow, nobody's gonna care. My neighbors aren't gonna be talking funny about me unless they're watching this video, and then, oh well. Ah, there they are again, guys. Look at that. Look at that big row. Listen to those babies purring. Is it time for you to reinvent yourself? Are you burnt out? Do you hate what you do every day? You're afraid you can't make it in another line of work because you just can't pay your bills. And if you can't pay your bills on a six-figure income, then this is probably not the line of work for you. But you want six figures? It's out here. It's available. You just gotta hustle. And just admiring all those trucks. Look at there. Reinvention time, guys. Reinvention time. I think I'm gonna go crash. Y'all have a great night.